welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be just a little bit different. I'm actually going to do a talk through while I'm doing this video for you guys, just because I do these steps in every single one of my videos, so you guys kind of see me doing it, but I never have really slowed it down for you guys and explained how I'm doing things and why I'm doing them and my favorite products to use. So that is what I'm going to do for you guys today, and it is just so much easier for me to teach you and show you how I do things as I'm doing it. So I'm just going to walk you through this and not do a voiceover today. So basically, I'm going to start off with showing you all of my favorite products. So we're going to start with contour, and I have I chose 3 from each thing that we do. So I really like these. Now I have the mineralized shades. This is a mineralized powder by MAC. I have them in every single color just because I use these all the time on my clients mainly. So they are in my travel bag. But as far as these powders, I'm actually going to just show you this one at the same time because I use this as an under eye highlight as well. So these are the mineralized powders. The reason I love these so much is, number one, they are just so blendable. They are the easiest powders that I've ever come across. That, number one, they're not too dewy when you get them on, but at the same time, they're not really matte. So they keep your skin looking really hydrated and not chalky. If you want to use a powder to, especially if you want to use one of these to like set your foundation, they're beautiful. So this one right here is the shade Dark, and I pulled this one just because it shows up best on camera, and I'm going to swatch it right here on the back of my hand. And as you can see, like I'm like flicking you guys off, sorry, but I am trying to swatch it here, and I'm like running my finger, and even after you swatch it for that long, like look, it is really pigmented, but at the same time, it's really, really easy to blend out. And yeah, so this is one of the first powders that I tend to grab when I'm contouring, just because, like I said, and another good thing about these is they're skin finishes. So it's not like when you use a bronzer, if the bronzer is too like orangey or muddy looking, these are going to basically set like a skin, or like your skin, like your skin. So they're going to be more natural looking than, say, like a bronzer or a contour powder. Okay, moving on. So me personally, I like a warm tone contour because I feel on my skin, I already have so much yellow in my skin that I feel like if I use something that is a cool tone brown, it makes me look like really dirty and muddy. So I tend to like a warm tone contour. Rule of thumb, when I was working at MAC and they were teaching us, all the contour stuff and all that, they said, that you should really never use a bronzer to contour, because for most people, when you get a warm tone bronzer on like that, it is going to look like bam and too much, and like you put a splotch of bronzer on. However, for me, I feel like out of all the contour powders that I've used that are like, I don't know, warm toned, they just make me look too, I just don't like them on myself. I have used contour powders on other people that I have absolutely loved, and for example, the Anastasia Contour kit is wonderful. I like it. However, I kind of feel like I like that so much more on my clients than I do on myself. So me personally, I really love this powder right here. It is a bronzer. It is called Refined Golden. It is by MAC. It's a really, really nice contour for myself. I'm not saying that this is going to work on you because it's a bronzer. I do not know that. But with makeup, it's always trial and error. So this is just another one of my favorites that I use on myself to contour. So yeah, that is the Refined Golden bronzer by MAC. Another thing that I really like to use for my contour is, it is another MAC product. It is the Blush Blunt. This, when you get it on, I kind of recommend this for those of you that have like a yellow tone in your skin, because when you get this on, it does tend to look a little bit warm as far as like rosy and pink. So if you already have pink skin and you use this to contour with, I don't know if you're gonna love it. I love it, but I have a lot of yellow in my skin. So again, it's actually a blush, and it's by MAC, and it is called Blunt. So for today, what do I want to use? I'm going to use this a mixture of my refined golden in this. I am going to do my contour a little dark for you guys today just because the camera picks it up a little bit better and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Normally I just kind of go in with a really nice big fluffy brush and I use a bronzing powder just because I'm not crazy about a really chiseled contour on myself. So that's normally how I do it. But in order to really show you guys, I'm going to just do it a little bit darker today. So I'm just using an angled brush. This is another personal preference thing. I like an angled brush. This is just like a random brush that I have for contouring. It came in a brush belt that I got as a gift, so I can't even tell you where it's from, but I do like this brush because it is angled. When you have an angled brush like this, it's just really that much easier to kind of help you carve out that cheekbone. So basically with a contour, what that is going to do, it's going to kind of pull things away. The whole purpose of contouring is to kind of give you depth in certain areas of your face. So it's going to kind of like take away and sink in. So when you do your cheekbones, I angle it from the top of my ear, basically where my hairline kind of comes to a point. So like right in here, and I bring it all the way and I angle it towards the corner of my mouth. However, you do not want to bring your contour all the way down to the corner of your mouth. You kind of want to stop it right in the center of your brow bone arch. So basically you're going to take it from here to the center of that brow bone arch and you're going to angle it towards the outside part of your mouth. When you're doing a contour, even if you want a really intense contour, you really want to start with a tiny bit of product and build from there, just because a contour is dark and it's really hard to blend out. So basically I kind of just set my brush, my mirror, I can't put this in my camera. Okay, so I start back here. Wherever you lay your brush down first with any product, whether it's a contour product or whatever type of powder, wherever you put your brush first, that's where you're going to apply the most product. So I personally always start back here so I don't look like I have a crazy spot, and I kind of just press this product into my face and I stop it right at my arch bone. So as you can see, I'm already getting that line there. Okay, so once you have your product on your face right here, I always, whether it's like on the back of a paper towel or on the back of my hand, I remove on the back of my hand like any extra product that is on that brush whatsoever. After that, in very circular motions, I kind of just blend. And you kind of want to allow that brush, like you see it right here, it's kind of hugging my cheekbone right here. Most importantly, if you feel like you have to blend this contour anywhere, blend it up. Because once you get your blush on, you can kind of blend your blush and your contour together. But if you pull it too far down, that basically defeats the purpose of contouring because you really want to chisel out those cheekbones. So if you bring it too far down onto your jawbone, it's just going to be, it's going to defeat the purpose. So you really just kind of want to hug this cheekbone. A lot of people like to have their contour up around their temples right here. I tend to leave my temple blank and then pull my contour on my foreheads down a little bit further. Everybody has their personal preference on how they do their contour. But as you can see, just with this one side of my face, it's already so much more carved out than this side. So you can kind of see the purpose of contouring. So the next thing I'm going to do is I like to use a big fluffy brush to do this with. However, I don't want to have one sitting in front of me. So we're just going to kind of go with it. So I'm going to go back in with my brush. I'm going to apply more product on my brush. And I am going to do my forehead. Like I said, this is kind of personal preference. You can bring it, you can leave it just right here. You can bring it all the way into the center of your forehead, which I do, but I keep it really, really close to my hairline up here. And I put it right in on the centers, and then like I said, I kind of allow it to grab my bones on the sides, kind of like how my eyebrow is angled. That's kind of how I apply mine. Like I said though, this is personal preference. Everybody is going to do this differently. You do not have to do it the exact same way. I'm just basically showing you how I apply it and how I do my contour. So most important thing, I cannot stress this enough about doing a contour, is make sure you blend it out. I hate when I see contours and they're like a really, really good contour. Like the placement is perfect, the product is beautiful, but it's just kind of like a splotch of color and they forgot to blend. With contouring, when you want to blend it out, this came from trial and error, but you want to make sure, like I said before, that you remove all that additional product off the back of your hand, because if you're trying to blend out your contour and you still have that leftover product on your brush, all you're doing is blending the dark part of your contour further and further down or further and further up, depending on which way you're working. So you really want to make sure you get in there and get all that product off of your brush and just go back in and blend until you really can't see any lines. And I think that is pretty good. So you can already see like the difference in each side of my face. So now I'm just gonna go and do the opposite side the same exact way. And I had a lot of you, like I said, requesting this video, so as far as like doing a contour and a highlight, asking me how I do mine. I always use a powder to do my contour and my highlight. I do not like a cream contour on myself just because I kind of feel like it sits on top of my skin. And any product that I've ever tried to use to do a cream contour always breaks me out, always gives me really ugly texture. It's just a hot mess. I have really sensitive skin, so I have to be very picky and choosy with the products that I use, and I have just not found a product. I'm not saying that I do not like a cream contour and highlight. I think on certain people it's absolutely beautiful. I've just not found a product that, number one, I like on myself, and number two, that does not break my skin out. So if any of you have any suggestions on what products that you like, please let me know. And if you are interested in seeing how to do, because I know how to do it, but I just don't do it on myself. So if that's something that you guys want to see, let me know. But I don't even think that I own any cream contour or highlight products, to be honest with you, just because. Now, as you can see on this side, I didn't blend this out yet. When I'm doing my own contour, this is just kind of how I do it. I go in and I lay my product down, and then I go back and I blend it out once I take all this additional product off my brush. And like I said, please keep in mind today I'm doing my colors a little bit more intense just so you guys can really see the shape and how I'm doing things. Okay, so after that, my biggest secret I feel like that I've ever given out to anyone, especially when I worked at MAC, is you want to take your foundation brush. Now, I use the Morphe foundation brush that's kind of like rounded. However, I always take my Sigma brush to do this with because it's rounded, but it's got like that sharp edge. So I take this and I kind of go right underneath. There's no product on this brush whatsoever. I just kind of go right underneath where I did my contour. And I kind of just clean that up. And as you can see, it looks so much more clean now on this side than it does on this side. So you're gonna go in and you're just gonna clean that contour up. And I know I'm like really sniffly, and if my voice sounds scratchy, I'm so sorry. Last night I kind of felt like I might be getting a little bit of a cold, and I wasn't sure if it was just allergies or what it was, but today for sure I'm so sick. Like my throat is on fire, my nose is running, my eyes are itchy. This weather in Florida, I really like have to blame you on why I have a cold right now, because it is so cold in Florida right now. I'm just like, it's January and I'm still bundled up like an Eskimo. It's ridiculous. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna show you guys is my under eye powder highlight. So there's two different types of highlighting. There's like that shimmer highlight that you put on your jawbone here or your cheekbone here, and then there is the highlighting powder that you're gonna use to set your under eye concealer. I already touched base with the light mineralized powder. So the next powder that I really love is this powder right here. It is emphasized. It is another MAC product. I have hit pan in this one too. This is a really, really bright highlighting powder for your under eye area, wherever you want to place this to highlight, like, you know, wherever you highlight basically. This is a really intense highlighting powder. When I use just this, I mainly use this because I really want to look bright and highlighted underneath my eyes. However, I really don't use this a lot by itself just because it is so bright. I went through a stage where I liked a really chiseled out contour and intense highlight, but that's just not how I like to wear my makeup anymore. So I always mix this, whether it's with my mineralized light powder or this powder as well. If you are looking for a really nice, cheap setting powder, I absolutely love this. I'm sure you guys have seen me use it in my other videos. It is affordable and I love it. It's wonderful. It sets my under eye concealer so nice. every time I use it. This basically, this just want to set under your eye where you highlighted or where you concealed. I take mine in a V-shaped motion. So I kind of start at the inside corner of my eye and I pull it down by my nose and then up towards my temple. And I like to really, now before I started this video, obviously I did set my under eye concealer once because I didn't want it to crease throughout this video. But the way I do it is I kind of just press. Anytime you're working with a powder on top of a cream or a liquid, first you want to press this powder in and use as minimal swiping motions as possible, because sometimes that can tend the products, the liquid product and the powder product to kind of, you know, combined and chunk up, and that's a lot of times why you see creasing or cakiness. So I just kind of press and set, and then kind of when that brush, it's hard to explain, but you'll feel it, like the brush will kind of stop pulling at your skin once it's pretty set. Once your product is pretty set, you can go in and kind of like sweep it off your face. However, I like to keep a pretty significant amount of powder underneath of my eyes just until I get my blush on, and then I go in and sweep it off, because that helps your blush not to blend upwards. You want to kind of keep your blush in this general area. We'll get to that next. So yeah, I go in, but again, that's personal preference. If you want to go in and kind of set your powder and then wipe it off right away, you do you. I just like to have a lot of powder underneath my eye area until I'm done with my blush. Again, you're just going to start at the corner of your eye and bring it down by your nose and then up in a V-shaped motion. This is another thing that is personal preference. You do not have to use like the same motions or the same shape. You basically want to contour and highlight your face to your liking. I like to contour my face. I have a very round face, so I like to contour my face so it looks a little bit more elongated. But if you have a really elongated face and you want to contour and highlight to make your face look round, you're just going to take your contour a little bit more, rounds it out up here, and then you're going to take your highlight further out, because your highlight is, or your highlight is going to enhance things and broaden things and bring things forward. Okay, so once you're done with that, I go in and do blush. So today I'm just going to be using my e.l.f. palette. This has been a really nice palette, actually. You guys forever ago recommended it to me, and I bought it just to see out of curiosity, and I really do like it. It's really pigmented. It reminds me a lot of Morphe, like I've said before, but it's just a little bit harder to blend out. So today I'm probably going to be using a mixture of these two, just because, well, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, a mixture of these two, just because I feel like, especially with Morphe's, I know you guys see me a lot. I cocktail products so much. I mix two different products together. I'm so picky. But I will say I do it with this palette because it is very pigmented, and this color right here that I want to use by itself is like, whoa. So I kind of put both of them on the same brush. To do my blush, again, this is personal preference. Everybody has a brush that they like to use, but this brush, hands down, is my favorite blush brush I have ever used in my life. I've never really been picky with blush brushes just because I kind of go to the same spot every time I do my blush. But I never realized how important a good blush brush was until I received this baby in the mail. It is an Morphe E4. It is not expensive, so if any of you out there are looking for a phenomenal blush brush, like Morphe, hands down. Okay, so I'm gonna go in. I basically, to do this, just dip my brush once into each of the blushes, and then I tap, because like I said, this is incredibly pigmented. So as you can see, when you carve out your cheeks and then you highlight your under eye area, it already kind of gives you like a little sneak peek of where the best place to apply your blush is, because it kind of carves out this cheekbone. So I always go in on the sides right here, and I just kind of press just like I do with my other products. I do a lot of pressing with my products, like I said, because I'm working on top of a wet foundation. It is already set, but I don't really like to do the pulling motions. And I just blend this right into my contour. Like I said earlier, that is why if you are blending your contour, if you're going to blend it anywhere, just make sure it's up. You really want to make sure you're concentrating on just doing the circular motions to blend out your contour, but if you have to blend it anywhere, blend it upwards, because once you get your blush on, as you can see, you can mix it right in. And I kind of do my blush in the same exact areas. So I apply it really just kind of really on the outside part of my brow bone arch. But that just kind of works that way for me because that's where my natural apple of my cheekbone is. But like I said, once you contour and highlight, it's really going to kind of carve out that apple part of your cheekbone, so you're going to know exactly where to apply your blush. I personally like to pull mine further back. I just kind of feel like it makes everything look more blended and seamless, but that is personal preference again. And like I said with the contour as well, wherever you lay your blush brush down is where you're going to get the most amount of product on your face. And especially with a blush, you do not want to have like a splotch of intense blush because again, blush is so pigmented that it's so hard to blend out. So I do start further back and I kind of just press the product into my skin. And then when I'm done applying back here, I kind of, again, I take that blush, or I take the brush and I kind of sweep it on the back of my hand to get any additional product off. And that's kind of when I just very, very gently kind of swoop it down a little bit more towards the corner part of my mouth. Next, I'm going to do the cheekbone, like the shimmer part. My hair is such a disaster. I'm like not with it today. I don't feel good. It's so cold. So anyways, all right. 3 favorite highlighting powders. Well, I can't say 3 favorite. I could say 2 favorite, and then this is another powder that I have fallen in love with lately. I don't even know if MAC still has it. It is superb. It is just an extra dimension skin finish, meaning it's got like a bit of a shimmer to it, and it's like a bronzy shimmer. I don't really love to use a bronze shimmer powder for a cheekbone highlight like throughout my cheekbone, just because it tends to make me look a little bit dirty, but I love placing this on top of like my lighter highlighting powders. So it's pretty much skin tone with, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's got like a really, really pretty gleam to it. So basically I am going to use this today just so you guys can see how I incorporate a bronzy type of highlighting powder into my makeup routine. But my 2 favorites are the Becca bronzer in Moonstone. And as you can see, I've hit pan. I've had this powder forever. This is the powder that I use on every single one of my tutorials so far. So that just goes to show you, like, these powders are expensive. I believe I paid like $38 for my Becca highlighter, but I've had it for so long. A little bit goes such a long way. It's a wonderful powder. All right. So a cheaper powder that I absolutely love, it is the Physicians Formula. You can find this at Target, Walgreens, doesn't really matter where you are that sells makeup, any drugstore or Target or Walmart, anywhere you can find this. So this is just basically a really, really cool tones highlighting powder, and it is right here next to, I don't know if you guys can see that. So this is the Superb powder, and then this is the Translucent Pearl by Physicians Formula that I just showed you. And I would swatch the Becca, but you guys see me use this constantly. It's just basically, well, no, I'll swatch it. It's just basically like a really warm / yellow toned highlight. I don't even know where to put it. So it's right here. Right there on my arm. You guys probably can't even see it. I'm like the worst person with swatching. So today I'm going to use my Becca and then this one right here. So you want to take any synthetic brush, and I basically just pop this all along my highest cheekbone point. And I do kind of blend this down into my blush just a little bit, just to make this kind of blend a little bit better. I hate when you can really see like contour, highlight, or contour, blush, highlight, like where you can kind of see it in a line. You want to see each different product, but it kind of has to be a smooth transition. So that is kind of why I like to blend mine down into my blush just a little bit. And then I take mine up right above my eyebrow bone. I like to do this just because it helps to make your eyebrow arch appear just a little bit more arched. So I don't know. That's personal preference again. I just want to take a second too while I'm doing this and thank all of my recent subscribers. You guys are phenomenal. I love you all. I cannot thank you enough for your subscription and your following. I love you guys so much, and I really just want to take the time and say thank you for all of you that follow my pages. Okay, so after I apply, as always, I kind of go in and you see me pressing that product, but with a highlighter, I kind of like to buff it out a little bit too, just because I feel like anything on me that has like a shimmer to it, if I just kind of go in and set it on my skin, it just kind of looks like a bunch of shimmer is sitting on top of my skin. So I just go in and very, very lightly blend it back and forth just to make sure I don't have like a clump of product and shimmer in one area. After that, I go in, when I use this, I go in and I just put a little dab on my brush, dab it off, and I put it right there. And that is it, no more. So you can see that product kind of nice and shimmery. Okay, so I skipped this when I did my contour, just because not everybody does it, but I personally do contour the sides of my nose just because I feel like this brings more attention to the center part of my face. I also feel like when I contour the sides of my nose, it elongates my face a little bit better, but I skipped it just so you guys could see what the contour and highlight and the blush looks like without your nose contoured. So basically, as you can see right now, my face is it's still very rounded out looking, and you'll be able to see, I'm gonna go in and contour my nose really quick just so you guys can see how much more, I don't want to say depth, but how much more it adds to your contour. So, okay, I'm just going to go in and use the same brush. I just wiped it off, and I just take it, and I don't start up here with my nose contour just because I wear, this sounds ridiculous, but I wear glasses. So when I contour the sides of my nose and I start way up here, I kind of feel like my contour settles where my glasses sit. So if any of you wear glasses and you've tried to contour the sides of your nose and then you look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh my God, you're having the same issue I do. It just kind of settles where your glasses normally sit. So I kind of start right below that, and I just go straight down the side of my nose, and I very, very lightly just go back and forth with my brush. You don't want to press, because when you press on a brush, it causes your bristles to kind of separate. So if you contour up, if you press hard, this is going to put this contour higher up onto the bridge of your nose and further down, and you do not want that. You just kind of want to very, very lightly and gently contour the very side of your nose. So you can stop right there and just contour down the sides of my nose. I think my nose looks super weird if I stop right here. I always like to go right across the top of my nose just to give it a little bit more character, I guess. And then after that, you just basically want to take any setting spray. I use this setting spray right here. I love it. I buy this at Sally's. I have so many different setting sprays. I have the Max Fix Plus, and I have the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray, which of course is hands down my absolute favorite. But I have to say, right behind it is this stuff right here. I buy it at Sally's. It's $12. My favorite thing about this is it's not like a pump. It's kind of like a, I love it. So anyways, after you have all of this done, you're gonna set it. After you set everything, you are complete. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something from me. I will list all the products that I mentioned, including the ones that I didn't use today, in the description bar below. If you have any more questions for me, please leave a comment and I would be more than happy to answer them for you. Thank you again to all of my recent subscribers and all of my subscribers that have been following me from the beginning. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.